Welcome back, everybody. Today we are checking out a game called GodLess. The developers of this game did reach out to me and they offered me a CD key, so I am checking this out. I wasn't paid to check it out or anything like that, but I do appreciate them for offering me a key to give it a try. Just taking a look. I was going to do the sped up, but I was like, let's play this at the actual normal speed and just see how it goes. Led by their champions, the mortal races defeated the gods, except for you, burned down the continents, and bring extinction to humankind. Yeah, screw those humans. Act 1. Alright, so I was trying to hover over everything up here to see what it does, what it is. The tutorial will go through most of that, so I'm just going to kind of speed this up a little bit so we can get through it as quickly as possible. So our goal is to defend the shrine and defeat 3 waves of enemies. All units will act accordingly, and you can see their intentions by pressing the left control button. Alright, so there's different terrain that does different stuff, such as adding attack modifiers to enemy units or friendly units that enter and pass through it. So right now I gotta find a spot to place my shrine. I think I'll place it over here in the corner, farthest away from them as I can get. Alright, you get 3, I call it mana. It's just what I'm most familiar with in terminology. And you have 3 different spells essentially that you start off with that you use to either summon a unit, heal a unit, place a terrain, all kinds of different spells and skills that they have. So it looks like we have a warrior, and you can see the direction he's gonna go when he spawns. So I placed him on the mana gem to see if I can get him to pick that up for me. But the cleric does grab it, so I'm gonna get 1 mana. Now you get 1 per turn every turn, and then if your unit goes across one of those mana things, you get a second one. Now I was misunderstanding how those work. That was kind of a bad placement, but it ended up working for the cleric. So essentially your units have to be on the terrain in order to get it. Alright, after you kill an enemy, you usually get a chance to do a buff. There's 3 different types. There's cursed, there's nature, and then there's whatever the orange one is. I don't remember the name. Prime, I think, or primal. They each have various degrees of different buffs. There's the primal one. Grants a morale boost to an ally, which seemed incredibly strong. So this time I put him near the shrine with a terrain under him, so that gave him the buff right away. Now the nice thing about this I noticed is your starting health is not your max health. And there we go. That's our first victory. Alright, so after each victory you get a chest that gives you potentially a new skill. This one was pre-selected, but usually you get a choice between a couple. You can have anywhere from 4 to 6 skills depending on what you've unlocked. You get essence, which you use to buy stuff at their shops in between the rounds. Or ether, I guess. Sorry, not essence. Then you get these sparks of fire, nature, and the other one. Alright, so in between each round, you usually get a choice of 3. This is a tutorial, so it's only going to give you the 1. So now you use those sparks that you've gathered in order to basically level up a talent tree. And you get to choose between one of 2 ways to buff your characters. Once we get out, see, I got confused here. You got to hold down the click button. I thought my game was like locked up, and then I noticed, oh, you just got to hold it down. Alright, in the merchant shop, you can buy a variety of different things. So you can get these scrolls, which are one-time use, consumables, or you can buy additional skill scrolls. Or abilities, sorry. So I was curious how you unlock additional slots. Once you beat an act or a run, you get access to a library, and one of the perks in there will be to unlock the additional slot. So I'm going to try using this little warbear guy instead of my swordsman. Alright, and now we go on to the second island. Alright, so now on top of your shrine you also get 2 different abilities here that you can use. One is Portal and one is Blazing Soul. So now I'm going to put the camp where I know my guy's going to go, to try to give him the benefit of the perk as he walks into it. I'm trying to put the cleric somewhere where I know if they move they'll be able to heal him. So since his attack is so much higher than his health, I did get additional ether. Alright, now after each wave, I get a choice between a different ability to have active for my shrine. So I put up a little wall barrier. So I'll put the tower or the camp where I know he's gonna go. So I thought it was asking me to select where to transfer soul. It was asking me for another soul to be copied. So now I thought I'd put it here and like he'd walk into the fire, it'd be a good idea. It ends up just burning into my own rock area and starting it on fire. And that's second round down. Now we get our rewards again. Alright, this time we get our choice of paths. I wanted to see what this talent was, so I chose the bottom path. So now in the forge, throughout your journey, you'll get crystals. And see, they add 2 crystals for me, just so I have something to use. And you can merge them together to create a gem. This gem gets socketed onto one of your spells. And now, when my clerics die, they'll respawn as a 1/1 cleric. Thus, basically giving me 2 clerics for the price of 1. I thought that was a really good deal. I thought this was a really powerful way to get an extra, like, 10 plus health for my shrine. You can use your ether to get an additional... It does exponentially get more expensive. But now my shrine has 2 defense. So even if it gets hit, it's taking 2 less damage per hit. And it's going to have at least 12 extra hit points every round. So now this is a boss monster. So he's got way more health than the rest of the fight. So I'll spawn my shrine here. Get it all that extra health. Summon a unit here so he goes across all the mana gems. So now this boss summons little units every turn. There you see I got my little extra 1/1 mage. Or cleric. So you can only teleport at one square, essentially, with the portal. So that was kind of wasted. I figure this will be a good way to pump up my bear next round. So I'll kill this back little guy in the back and give it to my main one. Now has 21 hit point or attack, and boom, there goes the boss. And that's our introduction. Alright, so after each run, you're going to be scored. Typical roguelike sort of thing. You get a modifier based on what settings you use. Now we get access to the library. In the library are these little mini talent trees that you unlock, and then you can spend your rewards to level them up. They have different tiers to them. So these first ones only have 1 tier, and then 2 tiers after that. As you see, like, finish Act 1, finish Act 2, spend a total ether. Alright. You also have the ability to unlock different shrine types. So there's Ether Shrine, which gives you ether, there's no adjacent units. And then there's a Magma Shrine, which basically becomes a walking, moving unit by itself. I wanted to see what the abilities of these are before you buy them, but you have to like unlock them in order to really... You can see what they do, but you don't get to see their stats. I personally like the idea of the Ether Shrine better, as I don't want my shrine moving towards the enemy and trying to be an attacker. So now you can choose those 2 auxiliary skills that you started off with. You can also adjust the difficulty. This will adjust how much rewards you get at the end of the run. Even if you don't make it to Act 3 and you die in Act 2, like you'll see me do here if I remember right, you get the additional bonus for having chose a harder difficulty. So you get to choose your starting 3 abilities. I like the idea of a scaling unit. Alright, so when you get to choose between those 3 different types of abilities, you will unlock different like passive abilities that'll buff you. Now there are speed rewards. The faster you clear the map, the more rewards you get. Unfortunately, I'm kind of blocking that. But it's like bonus ether, bonus health, stuff like that. It's not vital that you beat the map that fast, but it definitely helps. So now, if I choose 8 of the same color of these abilities, I will get a bonus. It can be such as like summoning an extra unit each round. They're really powerful, and they should not be ignored. Now, the first 2 are free. The third one you do have to pay a resource for. Vulnerability is so powerful. So there I was able to get rid of the unmovable. I moved both my guys within range, so now all 3 of them should be able to attack this turn. And I get the kill. So here you get to choose between a skill or a scroll. You can use one of those library trees to unlock a third option to give you more variety and better chances of getting something good. So I know I want Sanctuary, but it's whether do I want Chamber to get talents, which I don't have much points in, or do I want to check out the shop? So I decided to check out the shop. So in the shop here, you can spend 45 either to buy 10 talent points. You can buy a skill, which I did. You can refresh the shop as well, which I probably should have done. So I don't summon near the shrine very often, so I figured that's a good talent to have. I'll pick another one. Now I get the tier 2 version of it. I did consider getting defense, but 2 health to all my units that I spawn is really good. Now what I should have done is saved up that energy or that mana and just summoned my meteor. And then I could have killed him this turn. So this seemed like really good to me to use on an enemy. Like, sure, you double their stats, but they're taking 13 damage per turn. Throw the meteor on there. He's now dead in like 3 turns. Another just instant attack. I like it. Really didn't want my guy to die, but they were beating the crap out of him. Came really close. And they still got him. Now he isn't going to get to do his attack because the guy isn't adjacent to him. But that gives me the mana, and then I go in for the final hit. And that's that round down. Figure I'd take another scroll since the spell didn't interest me much. So I figure I'll try out the chamber here. So you can spend your ether in order to buy the talent points in order to reach the next level. This is useful if, like me, you are short a few. Figure I'll get a second one here. Cost me literally everything I had, but, you know, it was worth seeing what it was able to do. Didn't leave myself anything for the shop, though, which is kind of unfortunate. So now I thought I was safe because I thought my guy healed, but evidently he doesn't heal himself. But I still was able to get the boss down pretty quick using the thing. But then evidently he comes back with extra health. Let's see, what I should have done is just waited, got the extra mana, did the 20 damage to him, let the poison kill him. But, you know, you live, you learn. Alright, so that's the Act 1 completed. Now you get to choose different perk that comes at the cost of a negative. And each perk adds a bonus to whatever you want. Now I like this idea. All enemies receive 3 damage each turn. When you summon an ally next to your shrine, they will attack it. Well, I'm already getting buffs to the health for not summoning next to my shrine. So it just seemed like really good synergy to go with that one. Alright, so now enemies will also have Bloodlust. Figure if the shrine can defend itself, why not, right? Strong will, more not summoning next to the shrine. Now these two trees are 30% discounted. So I was able to buy 15 and get all the way up the fire tree here. That's so strong. My first unit gets not only the bonus health from not being near the shrine, but will also get bonus health from that. Now, I wasted a turn here by not doing anything. Or so I thought, but it looks like you can get mana over 3. But I think it's only because I stepped on a mana crystal. So now I'm trying to fully heal him. Make sure he doesn't die to the attacks. Now realizing he can't heal himself now, I definitely should have put the extra points into getting another healer. So that way they can heal each other. I didn't like the idea of giving all enemies on another continent bonus stats. It seemed like a dangerous thing to do. So thanks to the vulnerability, I was able to just basically one-shot him because he took double damage. Now, immovable did make it so that I didn't attack, which I thought it just meant that I couldn't move it. Like I had lost my speed for the turn. One of the things I really wish I had realized is summoning more units, despite the fact I was like healing it up, would have been more beneficial. So here you can see the different costs you can spend. Talent points, health, or ether. And he got gusted off the platform. So I was trying to get it so it gusted him, found a way to make it gust him into the other gusts, but it just wasn't working. Alright, so I got my 8 points into Primal. And now whenever I attack 9 times, I get a Swordsman. The next time, when I attack 8 times, that Swordsman will spawn with +4/+1. So if you can really stack that up, it's a powerful tool. Now here I get a choice of a different rare perk. I was like, free Life Weaver, I'll take it. And I lost. Alright. And then after that, you get your perks. Alright guys, well that's been my playthrough of GodLess. Be sure to check it out on Steam. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's really helping my channel grow. I'm almost up to 100 subscribers now. We're approaching 80 and then we'll hit that triple digit soon. I see it coming already. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Later.